Okay guys, so in this video I'm just going to be testing my bolt system, just doing this live, so it could be a bit bitty, but I'll try and edit it all together to make it flow a bit better. I'm going to run the bolt system actually for Bolt itself, because I'm trying to get a logo and a brand identity for my own app here. So what I put is, this is the actual brand for the tool itself, so don't get confused when I mention the name Bolt. So I've got my Bolt system there, and then I've got my brief. So I'll show you the brief, and it says Livewire brand design is launching Bolt, a digital product that radically accelerates the brand design process. Bolt handles the rapid concepting, structured ideation, and actually produces the finished results. This brief defines the brand's identity for Bolt itself. This cannot look like another rounded square SaaS logo. It must feel disruptive and cutting edge, a tool on the brink of release to the world. Disruptive but credible, the tension. The goal is an identity that feels fearless yet trustworthy. All must feel like one coherent, ownable system, engineered from scratch with no preconceptions. And then positioning and personality, fast, confident, electric, decisive. Feel is cutting edge, disruptive, premium. Personality, the rebel, expert who gets it done. Bolt is not slow, cautious, corporate, or generic, gimmicky, cheap, forgettable, safe. So in this instance, this is actually a real project, so it's not a made up case study, it's for my own app, so I want to get it right. Explore multiple distinct logo territories before converging. Let the concept lead the color, not the other way around. Prioritize a single ownable idea over decoration. Creative considerations, open, not prescriptive. What single idea captures speed and creation and intelligence? Color to be defined by the chosen concept. Typography, a word mark with a clear point of view. Sharp, geometric, or custom cut direction. And then deliverables, a final logo, horizontal lockup, vertical stacked if appropriate, and web page prototype, physical product mock-up. And success criteria reads as cutting edge and disruptive, never generic, works at 16 pixels, favicon and on a billboard, coherent family, every asset clearly belongs to Bolt, portfolio grade, strong enough to put in my own Livewire portfolio. So that's the mission, and I'm going to press run and see what we get. Now this is Bolt version 20 variations of the Bolt system now to get to this point, and hopefully it will run well. But I have experienced problems coming up to this point with the system getting a bit lost in ideation and not directing the user very well. But we'll run it now and just see what we get. I should also mention I have done some previous logo examples for Bolt here. This is running the previous version of Bolt. These are what I came up with. I had this idea of the Bolt italic sloping forward to symbolize speed, and then this as the B, and also pointing forward also represents a modular system, which it is. And then what's the other one? This one here, Bolt, looking more disruptive. So I didn't really want to touch on the lightning bolt because I just thought it was a bit too generic. Let's run the thing and see what happens. And then it's come back. So Bolt runtime sessions start. Understood, we are branding Bolt the product itself using your Bolt system. I am treating the PDF as the brief and Bolt the operating system that I should run. Yeah. We're not confusing the tool with the brand. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened last time I ran it. So reply in one block with these 4 answers. Templates to load. Now I'm currently working on the templates, and they'll be customizable. You just simply drag and drop your competitor images in, and then it'll build out a complete brand identity system, or your documents straight away in Abacus. So how many brand identities have you so templates to load, I'll just put 1, no, and then 2, how many brand identities have you designed and shipped? I'll just put 10 for now because I've got a relatively new designer. So 4, how do you want me to work with you? Drive, Copilot, or Spa? So what it's asking there is, obviously, do you want me to take the lead, or Copilot, as if you're an experienced designer? You don't need like leader, you need a Copilot, or Spa, meaning backwards and forwards. So in this instance, I'm going to put drive, because I just want to demonstrate how the bolt system would operate for non-designers as well as designers. Core functions: brief-led analysis, symbolic ideation, automated visual generation, and then production vectorization, the final assets, for example. Now, when I say final assets, this isn't like it's going to do the final logo for you. This is an ideation tool. So the actual final product and deliverables all come down to you using the ideas you've come up with in Illustrator and finalizing in a proper vector mock-up, a proper vector logo and brand system. So brand analysis framework. So problem, fix, concept. Problem: AI branding usually looks like generic 4-color gradient. The fix: using the bolt system itself to create an identity that feels electric, high ticket, and technically superior. Concept: high voltage precision. So going down here, brand analysis snapshot. Stage 2. So brand analysis snapshot, flagship identity system, electric, decisive, disruptive. Target audience: high tier designers, creative agencies, and technical founders. Competitive space: avoid the abstract blue rounded square default SAS. Own the sharp high contrast technical space, which is what I'm trying to do. So top 4 keywords it's come up with: ignition, the start, the sudden spark of an idea from a brief. Routing: how the system directs logic through stages. Signal: the clarity of the final locked identity. And aperture: the gate logic that kills 85% of bad ideas. So do you approve this functional core and the 4 keywords? I've put yes, but I want the brand to look disruptive. Okay, so it's come back with decision agreed. If we went straight for those keywords into visual generation, there's a real risk of ending up with lightning bolts, arrows, sparks, nodes, circuit icons, generic AI geometry. All of those fail your clip art rejection test. The keywords are not logo idea, they are the strategic engine. What I would adjust: strongest territory for bolt is not speed. Every AI tool claims speed. The actual product reality is it takes the chaos and creates direction. It kills weak roots quickly. It compresses months of brand decisions into hours. Multiple inputs become one resolved outcome. That moves us deeper into symbolic territory. So refined keywords would be convergence, acceleration, resolution, and aperture. Why this is stronger: a designer can draw a bolt, an arrow, a spark in 5 seconds. A designer cannot easily draw convergence, resolution, aperture, acceleration without inventing new geometry. This is exactly where the ownership starts. My recommendation: I would kill ignition, signal, and replace with convergence. Lock. So it's asking to lock. So we're going to lock those in. So then we move on to keyword to geometry translation. So before we generate a single tile, I'm translating these keywords into physical properties. This prevents retrofitted rationale, making up a story for random shape. Convergence. So multiple vectors to one node. Inward pressure. So spatial logic. So acceleration, shearing, parallelograms, sharp angles, resolution, focusing, aperture, interlocking frames, concentric cuts and overlaps. Symbolic territory extraction. So I've engineered 3 distinct symbol territories for the bolt identity. So we've got type 1 kinetic node, 2 is logic aperture, 3 is monolith, shear, resolution, and acceleration. Logic aperture, we've got negative space cut out based on geometric grid. So the system runs into Gemini 3 Flash here, generating the images with Nano Banana Pro. I'm just going to make a cup of tea. Okay, so it's come back and it's created my 3 artboards. So I've got 1. So what I've done is taken screenshots of those and I've put them in. These ones I like aesthetically, but how do they relate to the brief and keywords? So I think I'm going to need a section in my system at this point that says pick your favorite designs, and then it's going to automatically tell me why they're good and why they meet the brief and represent the keywords. So it's got, this is exactly the right question. Symbol 1, 3 connected nodes. Now I like this reason being, I think it looks like a robot, which is what AI is essentially, a system, almost like a robot assistant. So symbol 1 works because connection, you've got the 3 nodes, or you could look at it as a little robot. Collaboration with the robot, system integration, which is like a continual loop. So it doesn't really say much about acceleration or aperture. This is very close to a category cliche. Okay, so symbol 3, which was the other one I liked, which was this. This is actually my favorite one. Just on first glance, it symbolizes process. My verdict, symbol 3, which I said I liked, is actually the strongest route. If this were Koto or Design Studio Review, symbol 3 is the only one I'd put on the wall for the next round. The next thing, I'd test it whether symbol 3 can evolve from 4 shapes around a hole into a form that more explicitly demonstrates convergence, acceleration, resolution. So we stop looking at logos now and go back to meaning. You're at the exact point where most novice designers make the mistake of choosing between a shape because it looks cool, which is I was going to do. Looking at the robot there, I quite like the look of that. Your system specifically exists to prevent that. What I see are the 3 symbols. 3 is the strongest direction, but none of them are yet a Bolt logo. They're promising geometry, not a finished concept. The bigger question, if somebody asks, what's the single thing that Bolt does? What is the answer? Not AI, speed, design, branding. The answer is from your functional core is Bolt rapidly converges hundreds of creative possibilities into one resolved brand direction, which we are doing now, live and direct. So that sentence is gold. Bolt rapidly converges hundreds of creative possibilities into one resolved brand direction. Because competitors talk about creation, generation, automation, Bolt talks about convergence, decision, resolution. That's a different territory. Therefore, I would kill the lightning territory, the electricity territory, the AI territory, the chatbot territory. Everyone is already there. I will double down on the moment of resolution, the exact moment where many possibilities become one answer. So it says take symbol 3 and spend the next round exploring only how central negative space can become for meaningful and ownable. That's where I believe the flagship Bolt identity is hiding. That's the move. So we are... Okay, so this is an example of my system not going wrong as such, but failing in directing the user. So I need to adjust that in version 21. So I've put these 2 are the strongest so far, but you seem to have moved away from this direction in the last artboard. It's got a hard stop. You're right, I drifted. That's on me. These 3 here, I've put, okay, these are the final 3 I like, with the 3rd being a softer version of 2, with subtle curves, which I'll be finalising. Decision needs to be locked in now. So visual direction, calibration, winner, selected symbol 3, image 3, that one there, which has got the slight curvature to it. So it says, it's the superior choice for the Bolt flagship identity for these specific reasons. Refined authority. It takes the chase logic but introduces a sophisticated premium curvature. It feels like a high-ticket tool rather than just a disruptive startup aggressive. Harmonic tension. The sharp outer points provide the speed, acceleration, while the curved inner transitions provide the resolution and focus. Emerging diamond. The central void is the tightest and most precise. In this version, it feels like the brand essence you've just engineered. Portfolio grade, this is the most London agency of the 3. It feels balanced, intentional and expensive. So if we look at the one I like there, got that one, and we've got the new one there, which I do think is pretty good and represents a system using negative space. It almost looks like a gear there, turning around, and a system moving forward and directional arrows pointing forward, and almost like an aperture, which is one of the keywords. So now it is going to create a technical color table and visual color card for the system. So okay, so it says vectorization is later but not much later. Okay, so Now we're generating the color cards. So for creating the vector, we can vectorize via Recraft. So that's the Recraft AI platform, but I would take it back into Illustrator, to be fair. Just me thinking out loud. Territory, high voltage. I quite like this one. This is nice. So it's created these actual unique colors for the brand. To save going on Adobe Color and just picking generic ones that lots of other people are using. So that's good. And we'll see what the other two territories come back as. So then it came back with Territory 2, Industrial Intelligence, got the Racing Green, Warm Silver, Jet Black, and then Territory 3, Singularity, we've got the Void Black, Signal Amber, and Liquid Chrome. Now I like that one, that's good. What's it saying now? So, Creative Director's verdict, Territory 3 is the Singularity lock. Okay, so it's telling us to go that way, but I do like this one as well. So for demonstration purposes, we'll run with 3, but I would probably go into Illustrator and try both of these now. So next stage, typography. Okay, so it's come back at stage 12 with some suggested typography, but I wouldn't use any of these. I'd go into Illustrator, but it's good to have an idea. So suggesting now it goes into final lockup and vectorization. So I'm going to press go. It's come back with stage 14 final system lockup, and I'm quite happy with this just for demonstration purposes. I'd go back into Illustrator now, refine it and try the different colors. So I've put, okay, now I'm happy with this. Give me 3 mock-ups adding a metallic gradient to the logo amber to make it look really high end. I want the logo as it was appear as an app, then on the website, then on the sleek Apple style small product box. So while it's doing that, I would like to say overall, I think this system has run quite well today. I'm thinking it certainly beats this clip arty looking symbol. It beats this one, which looks a bit too fragmented. And my one, which I worked on yesterday, I'm just not sure about. I just don't think it looks good. It captures those features as I mentioned. It looks modular, it looks pointing forward, but it just doesn't look right to me somewhere. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, so we've got the largest failure point at this point in the process now. It's generated the mock-ups, but they're nothing like the logo at all. So you need to correct that. I think what I would have done is originally, if I was doing this with more time, I would have got the vectorization done, put that back into Abacus as the PNG files, and then with all branded colors, etc., and then got it to produce the mock-ups. Okay, so what I've put is on the end of this project now, I was rushing through this process for demonstration purposes. I would have normally vectorized the logo and wordmark, then brought back into this system as a PNG. I say this because in the previous mock-ups you have not actually reproduced the logo we decided on, you've imagined it, plus you've not used the brand colors we decided on. It says, so you're right, that was a production mistake. For mock-ups I would have used the approved asset source and the impact yet. This is a flaw that I'll just have to iron out in the next version of Bolt. But there you go, that's using my Bolt system to actually create its own brand system. So what I'm going to do now is, I wouldn't settle for this, I'm going to take this all back into Illustrator and craft it out properly, so eventually when you see the product, you'll see it as the final product itself. So for producing the website for Bolt, I'm thinking of using Claude, because currently that's pretty amazing for websites. So that concludes this video, and I'm going to be showing you how the website looks and everything as I finalize this logo now. I'm not going to use this word mark obviously, because it just doesn't cut it. It's need to create a more custom one for Bolt, but there we go, that's the Bolt system in use.